coming to you from Kona. I'm trying something different today because I normally just do things live on the Facebook Live video, but I don't think I can maintain a connection here. So I'm going to try to just record a video. So in case anyone was wondering, how do I get from the Kona airport to the Haight, I believe that's what it's called, Peace Garden, you can just watch this video. And yeah, I think I'm going in the right direction. So, a couple of things I think I wanted to just talk maybe to keep myself awake, because let's see if we can look at the clock. Yeah, 11:49 in the morning. And I have been awake since 5 o'clock yesterday morning. So it's Monday now. I've been up since 5 o'clock on Sunday. I didn't sleep too much Saturday night, maybe 5 hours after getting up at 5 o'clock on Saturday morning too. So Kona is looking exceptionally green right now because it's been raining here a lot, which is very unusual. For the first time in years, we don't have a drought. As I was driving out of the airport, I was looking around and I saw so many green areas today. The first time I came to Kona, when you leave the airport, it's totally black lava. I felt like I was on a different planet. But now, like, look, we've got like all these gorgeous bougainvillea growing on the hillside, just wild bougainvillea growing there. It's beautiful. Lots of trees. Of course, now we're going to have a high fire season, but it's beautiful right now. And so I was thinking about what I'm doing here. For those of you who know me, you might be kind of astonished, actually, on what some people might call a vacation. Like if you have a job and you get days off or a week off or something and you decide you're going to go somewhere and do something. That's kind of what I'm doing today. And I'm going to be here for a week, and I'm so excited because I'm doing something new and totally by myself, which is very unusual. As I thought about it today, I thought, wow, it's kind of unusual for me to just go and do something by myself. And at the same time, I get to see my really good long-term friends. I figure people who have been friends for a long time, they must be pretty important if they could stick it out with me over all these years and all my kooky things. When I first started coming to Hawaii, I came to see my teacher, Roger B. Cotting. That's R-O-G-E-R. He was always very specific about that. And I remember, you know, at that time, it was 2001, and it was just shortly after 9/11. We had, I wonder if I could make it brighter. It looks kind of dark. Oh, that looks better. 9/11 happened, and my mom had been given a timeline. She had a brain tumor, and I think she was already in hospice, or she was getting ready to go to hospice. I can't remember exactly. I remember we talked about 9/11, but I don't remember how much more time she had that she was really super aware. But oh, this is so funny. I don't know if you can see this. There's a sign on the guy's truck in front of me, and it says warning, and it looks like one of those warning signs that's gonna say, like, you know, stay back 6 feet or something. It says something like, forget the dog, be aware of the wife. And it's, instead of being red and white, it's pink and white, the sign. But anyway, my amazing sister, she's so amazing. I don't know if I can turn this around, if it'll still work, so you can see me. Hi. After, I don't even know how many hours that is, from 5 o'clock one day until it's almost noon the next day, but I'm sure I'm looking a little tired. Sometimes people accuse me of looking tired, but I'm actually just really relaxed. I don't actually feel tired now, but I probably look really tired. Oh, and here we're actually coming up on the turnoff to Roger's house. It's coming up pretty close here. I don't know if you can see the bay if I hold the phone over there. Kamehameha Road down there. Oops, I'm going through a yellow light. It's probably my second illegal act of the day, because I'm sure it's not legal to drive with a phone in your hand. But my sister is so brilliant. I don't know how she thought of this, but When my mom was sick at the end, and her birthday was coming up, my amazing sister had this brilliant idea. She said, why don't we, you know, instead of waiting until mom dies and then calling everybody and inviting them to come to a funeral, why don't we call everybody now and have them come to celebrate her birthday, to celebrate her life? And I never heard of anything like this before, and I just thought, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. So this would be the street to Roger's house. I'm not going to go there right now. Love you, Roger. My beloved teacher, Roger, passed away about a year ago. And I haven't seen his wife, so I'm going to go see her while I'm here on this trip. So my sister got out my mom's old address book and she called everybody who had a phone number that still worked. And we called all of our family and all my mom's friends, and people came that we hadn't seen for years and years. And though that was November, middle of November 2001, my mom couldn't speak anymore, but we were able to bring her over to my sister's house in Arcadia. And I'm sorry, I know this isn't like the most beautiful view. I actually went the scenic route earlier, so this is like the quick and dirty way. I think it's just easier to drive and hold the phone. It'll get tricky after a while. Not just till the last little bit, but this is Kona. But I can't remember what I was saying now. Yeah, Mom, she couldn't speak anymore, but she was very alert and she was happy. I don't know, we couldn't really tell if she knew what was going on, but we knew that she was happy. And thanks to my brilliant, amazing sister, I have this beautiful memory of my mom being happy. And that was so amazing. Such a gift. And then I went back home to San Francisco, and the next weekend it was someone else's birthday, and we were out at a Chinese restaurant having a birthday dinner, and my beloved teacher, Dr. Angela Wu, was there, and my good friend Debbie, and I happened to be sitting, you know, one of those big Chinese restaurants, right, where there's like 10 people per table. We didn't have too many tables, but 2 or 3 maybe. And I happened to be sitting next to my friend Debbie, and I think I was thinking about maybe going like to a craft fair or something like that the next weekend. And so I was going to ask her if maybe she wanted to go. Look at these beautiful flowers. times. We're so blessed. And so I was like, hey, Debbie, what are you doing this weekend? And she goes, oh, I'm going to Hawaii. Do you want to go? And I was like, you're kidding, right? And she goes, no, I'm going to leave. I think it was like on Friday. And she was coming to this seminar. And she was going to come home on Tuesday. And I'm like, that sounds totally crazy to me. You know, my mom is sick. I'm working in my own clinic. I'm working in Angela's clinic. I'm meant to be going to school. I think I may have been taking a break from school because I was going to LA, driving down there like every other weekend. But I ended up coming. And then Debbie and I met Roger B. Conning, R-O-G-E-R, and his amazing, beautiful wife, Misty. And we were so impressed with the first couple of days of the workshop that we decided to stay for the whole thing, which was 9 days. And then we just kept coming back 2 or 3 times a year. And here I am again. I haven't been here for a while, since I moved to Oahu. So for people who may not be too familiar with Hawaii, because, you know, coming from California, growing up in LA, I didn't know anything about Hawaii. I never thought about Hawaii. I had heard of some people moving to Hawaii, and I thought, it sounds really weird. Why would you do that? Like, why would you go live in an island in the middle of the ocean? It just sounded really, I don't know, anti-social or something. It probably is. I don't know. But this island is called Hawaii, or some people call it the Big Island. We call it the Big Island, and its official name is Hawaii Island. And we call it the Big Island because it is the biggest island in the state of Hawaii. And I'll just say, because not everybody, you know, knows about I love this building. It's so cute right here. The antique store. There's another little antiques market. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I don't know what the percentage of the Hawaii population lives here, but I do know that 75% of Hawaii's population lives on Oahu, and that is the island that I live on. And so Oahu is the most populated island, but it's one of the smaller islands. So the Big Island is the biggest island. It has the most land, but not a lot of people, considering how much land there is. It does get crowded here though, but not as crowded as Oahu. Oahu is the island where we have the city of Honolulu, county of Honolulu. Honolulu County is actually the entire island of Oahu, and that is where Waikiki is. I just thought I'd throw that out there because people ask me, because on Oahu I have 2 vacation rentals, so I get to meet people from all over the world, and people call me and write to me asking me questions. Recently somebody asked me, okay, now I have to, which way do I go? I think I go straight. Okay. And if you're in this area and you want to go the scenic route, just go that way. It's very beautiful. It's called Ali'i Drive. I don't think you can see the sign, but people ask me questions. They ask me questions all the time. Like recently somebody asked me, which airport do we fly into to come? They had already made their reservation for my apartment on Oahu. There's only really one airport on Oahu, unless you're coming from another island. You can come into, like, we have one little tiny airport, but the airport that you fly into on Oahu, in case you are wondering, is Honolulu. The Honolulu International Airport. And if you want to come to the Big Island, you have 2 choices. You have Kona and Hilo. And I've never been to Hilo. Okay, now I'm wondering if I'm on the right street. I have to check. Not too sure. Of course, there's no street signs, so. So what am I doing here? Some of my patients have asked me, oh, what are you doing on the Big Island? So as I said, you know, I have really good friends here, amazing friends, about 4 of them. And I definitely am not sure that this is the correct way. I may turn around, but it's beautiful. Some of these roads can be very long and very winding. Winding or windy? Winding, I'm not sure. But I'm gonna go to the side. It's so beautiful out here. Maybe I'll get out for a minute so you can see. This is a great view. There's a beautiful avocado tree right here. Oh, I'm not too sure if you can see, but there's the coastline way out there beyond the trees in the distance. It's very nice here today. There's an old rock wall right here. Beautiful trees. Here's my gigantic rental car. I don't know how I think, you know what I thought when I saw that this was my car? I thought, that probably means that I'm going to end up driving people around. Because I always try to rent like the most economical car. And then somehow I usually end up with a really nice car. And this was so funny because this car was $100 for the week. I was like, how can they rent a car for $100 for a week? So I thought it was going to be a itsy bitsy teeny weeny tiny car, and then they don't tell you what car you're getting. You just show up and then they give you keys and they're like, okay, go out and the car will be in the lot. Just click the fob and then you know, the car will beep, and then that's how you find your car. I was like, oh, okay, great. So I go out to the lot, and somehow I was like, even though I was on the very first flight over here, I felt like I was the last person in the rental car office. And I went out into the lot, and there's like 4 cars left. And one of them is this itsy bitsy teeny weeny little blue car that's like a tin can. And I was like, oh, that must be my car. And I clicked the button and it was this car. And I was like, oh, that means I'm going to be driving people around. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. There's shark teeth on the road. I don't know if that's what they're called, but I have never seen that before. Look, there's shark teeth. I mean, I'm sure it's to tell you to watch out because there are bicyclists and there are people walking and people running, because this is Ironman country. So I think all year round people are training here, swimming, walking, running, bicycling. Oh look, there's a jacaranda. Cool. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. So yeah, people are wondering, what are you doing on the Big Island? And so I'm actually here to go to a little seminar called Waves of Disclosure. And it's so funny because I was talking to one of my friends on the phone last night, and she had accidentally called me because she was trying to call her other friend Gina, because her other friend Gina, who lives in Canada, okay, wait, Captain Cook, this way, okay, this way, I guess I will go this way. This is a very odd intersection. Okay, I'm not actually sure if I can turn right on red there, but I just did. Okay. And I said, well, you know, I'm going to this seminar with this guy who talks to these aliens who are 8 feet tall and they're blue and they have the faces of birds. And then there's this woman who takes us out in a boat to swim and meditate with dolphins and whales. And then another guy who is going to talk about interplanetary politics. And she said, oh my gosh, I want to go to that. That sounds awesome. And I thought, oh, that's great. And so, you know, just speak the truth. It was the exact opposite of what another friend of mine said the previous day when I told her what I was doing, she said, "Oh, Gina, I don't know about that." And yeah, it's interesting. But you know, you don't know until you have your own experience, right? And I certainly don't have any experience with 8-foot-tall blue birds talking to me. Or I don't know anything about politics, much less interplanetary politics. But I know a lot about meditation, and I am so excited to get in the water with the dolphins. And you just never know, right? And I don't know what people the person who talks to the blue avians, he calls them blue avians. Oh, look, it's so beautiful from here. His name is Corey Good. And I know, they're, like, if you look up YouTube, if you put his name in, there's people saying negative things. But I think that's true in any case. There's some sort of psychology to it. When I was studying with my first acupuncture teacher, Dr. Wu, I was an art student. I was studying textile arts at San Francisco State. And then I met Angela, Dr. Wu, and I started studying with her. And my art friends and other people are like, "Hey, what's happened to you? You're like busy all the time." And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm working in this acupuncture clinic, and there's a lot of studying involved." And people were saying, "Oh no, you're in the cult of Dr. Wu." And I was like, "What?" And so people in San Francisco, they thought of her like that. Look, it's so beautiful. I hope you can see. Oh, the coffee shack. That's where I had my coffee this morning. Best breakfast ever. I always have to go there when I come to